on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
Spartans! What is your profession?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
It's time!
New Day with SSJ was presented by Walker Medical Linen Services, locally owned and operated, and HLAC certified, meeting the highest industry standards. Walker has partnerships with hospitals, surgery centers, and medical clinics in and around the metro area. Walker Medical Linen Services in Kansas City and online at walkermls.com.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. Stephen St. John here, broadcasting live from the Northland. One more day, and then I should be back in studio tomorrow. If somebody comes out here and plows me. You hear that, Kansas City? I need to be plowed.
I offered yesterday.
Well,
it's off the table.
Yeah. I could probably word that a little bit better, but I think my point has been received.
That could have been worded better, too.
Right. That's Nate Bukaty and Jake Gutierrez live in studio in Overland Park. Although Susan and Phil were out there clearing things in the driveway. Hell, Sue was clearing the cul-de-sac. But neighbors were out there. It needs to be plowed, but we shall find out today. I believe Susan's going to attempt to get to work at St. Pius. It is a teachers in-service day, or I'm not sure how they, it's something. It's just for the teachers. And she is going to make sure to go up there, and she's the main lady in the cafeteria. She's my lunch lady, you know. And so she's got to get up there and make sure these teachers are fed. And so then we'll know if everything's drivable. And then we'll be good to go tomorrow, I think. Launch Lady Land. Hoagies and grinders, hoagies and grinders.
Navy beans, navy beans.
Right.
Lobby-do. We can keep going.
Whenever Susan comes on the show from now on, that's the song I'd like to have for her. You know. So we'll see if Kansas City gets back in the full swing of things today. And hopefully, remember, everyone be careful out there. It's still very, very cold and slick and snowy and icy. The temperature where I am right now, let's do a quick check. I'm checking in at 2 degrees. Oh, 1. 1 degree in Northland. Feels like -6. Yeah, 1. What do you guys got out there?
It was 4 on my drive in. That's what my car registered.
My phone says it's -3 right now.
Wow.
We don't even have any degrees.
We're lacking.
How was the drive in?
Not bad for me. It was our street got plowed yesterday. The hard part, we took the kids sledding on there's that famous sledding hill right off 435 in Antioch.
Like Cleveland Chiropractic.
Yeah. And we took the kids to go sledding yesterday, and when we were backing out of the driveway, they had plowed our road, which also meant there was a mountain of snow right in between our driveway and the road. And I stupidly did not shovel that until we got stuck in it, and then I shoveled it. And then we got out.
It's like, I can make it.
Yeah. I didn't even, honestly, I was so busy fighting with my 15-year-old son at the time.
You didn't even think about it?
Didn't want to leave the house because there were important video games to be played.
Yeah, man, it's so crazy because like we're not that far off in age. We're so far off in where we are as far as the age of our kids. You know.
Yeah.
That's like that wasn't even on the radar. Like I remember like so many winters and so many times it would snow, whatever. Let's go play in the snow. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Let's get out in the snow. That's not even. Now it's like, Phil, will you please go outside,
right,
and shovel, please,
right?
Would you? And I mean, if I asked, you know, and Selena's still nursing her sprained ankle that she's working her way back from. She's still not been released to play again. That sucks, by the way. She's been dealing with that since before the holidays, and that was a bad one. Aaron Borgman, who's been doing a great job, he's helped us getting her back into playing shape, and she's been working really hard with the people at St. Pius to try to get her back. But man, I just feel for her, you know. So she's sure in the hell can't go out there. And then if you even hinted to Julia outside, she'd look at you outside. What? Huh? And so, yeah, you those are. I hear that, and I'm like, yeah, there's people that want to go out there.
Well,
those days are gone.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't really want to go out there yesterday, but I felt like I wanted my kids out of the house.
You feel like you have to.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
And it was good. It was good for everyone. Like the 5-year-old he wants to go explore the snow and play in it and everything. He's all fired up. But the 15-year-old.
That's what I mean. You feel like you need to. You feel like you have to.
Yeah.
But like, you know, just there will be a point where those days are gone.
Right.
You know.
I'll be wishing for the fights with my 15-year-old about going outside.
I don't know about that.
Need to get outside.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
talking
you
about.
do. You got to get outside.
No. Hey, those days aren't gone, Nate. those days are still here. I'm just talking about people wanting to go outside.
Gotcha.
There's
Yes.
plenty of fights to be had with teenagers. I'm not wishing for those, buddy.
You know what? To his credit, the 15-year-old bucked up after that and was great big brother. Took the little one down the hill several times.
And probably had a great time.
They ended up having a great time. Everybody was in a better mood because we went outside and got our bones moving around a little bit and all that. Some fresh air. But
Susan was trying to buy a sled at Lowe's the other day when we were stocking up. I go, who in the hell are you buying that for?
She wants to go.
Who is this for? Oh, one of the girls. I go. Do you know? Have you met our girls? What girls are you talking about? Like, are you talking about the neighbors across the street? And so then she kind of sadly, I said, buy it, maybe. And like even like Selena, like she goes, who are you getting that for? And she's got to put her head down and then wouldn't put it back because it's instinct.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is. It's instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, wait.
Tell
grab
her
a sled.
she could take me sledding.
You know, hey, look, it's a snowball maker.
Our oldest son, Jacob.
Yeah.
You could take him sledding.
Yeah, and I would go sledding with him until we realized it was a 50-50 proposition. You know, sledding with Dad or trip to the ER. Which will it be today?
Right.
I don't know.
Right. That's definitely how I felt yesterday. Also, felt it when one of the two inflatable sleds that we had deflated under the pressure of my dad bod. But yes, you do start to. I'm at the age too where it's like any trip down this hill could end in some sort of cast. Or
yeah, we're not doing that. I love you kids. I can just hear my surgeon right now. No. No, Steven.
No!
But I'd say everything out here, anyways, has been plowed. Our neighborhood, it's still snowpacked or whatever, but it's been plowed.
It's so cold that there's some spots that are icy.
Yeah, so you got to be careful with the speed.
Especially on the back and side roads. The main roads have salt on them and sand and whatnot, whatever mixture they put down. But some of the side roads,
But just as soon as you get cocky, you think everything's fine. There's slick spots,
Yes.
and you don't want that.
It's so damn cold that anything
Yeah.
that was wet overnight is definitely a sheet of ice. So
I think you need to, if you need to be somewhere today, you could probably get there. Give yourself extra time,
Yep.
and make sure you're not in a hurry.
it still took me about 15 or 20 minutes longer to get here today. Took me about 30 minutes to get in. It usually takes me about 20, 15.
And so you see, I guess it's supposed to snow again Friday?
Friday morning-ish.
Well, Jeff Penner was all fired up on the news last night. He said this one is going to be coming in from the south, somewhat from the southwest, but we're just going to catch the edge of it. We're not going to be right in the middle of it. But it's going to be bad down to the south. Friday night into Saturday morning, supposedly.
Like south, like Kansas City, south, like
No, it's like south United States.
The
storm's going to be pushing in from the,
Oklahoma, Texas going to get hit.
Yes, like Oklahoma area. Oklahoma's going to get it. Looks like in that area.
Okay.
And we're just going to kind of get the edge of it. Maybe we should contact Jeff Penner at some point.
Just the
and give
tip.
him
We're
his
just going to
due.
get the tip.
Yeah, maybe. We had Lezak on yesterday, so maybe we'll give equal time. Maybe not. I don't know.
Do you think Jeff Penner's going to go to the farm
No.
con?
Oh, I don't know. That was a list of heavy hitters there that
Wasn't it?
Lezak was speaking with, so I don't know about that. Lezak's probably got an agent that sets up all that stuff.
It's a moist one.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it's I guess it's the calm after the storm. We're waiting patiently for football to start this week. Thankfully, and I touched on that a couple of times yesterday. I am thankful the way they have the schedule set up that we'll have some college football playoff action to kind of ease us into the weekend on Thursday night and Friday night.
Some appetizers.
It's a tremendous 5-day stretch.
Yes.
And I know that there are other things to worry about when you have a winter storm and all the viruses going around and everything else that people are dealing with and having to get back to school. You know what? Maybe this is exactly the time when we need football to distract us and to give us something to stay home and stay warm with. And that's a tremendous stretch of 5 days of playoff football. And so not just the NFL, but college football getting in on the action. And so, they butted heads against each other. We've wondered about the odd scheduling of some of the playoff in the playoffs in college football. But finally now, as we settle into 2025, things make sense. Now, this makes perfect sense. And I am, even though, like I said yesterday, these are teams that normally I do not root for at all. Like, I've never rooted for Notre Dame. And I think that was probably why, maybe because like a bunch of people around me would always root for Notre Dame. Growing up in Catholic schools and everything else, and I rooted against them. I've never rooted for Penn State. Even when I was a kid, before all the horrible, awful things happened, I never rooted for Penn State. I never liked Penn State for one reason or another. I've never rooted for Ohio State, and I've never rooted for Texas. Like, those are teams, like, when they're on, I hope they lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
100%.
Usually there's teams in there, like, oh, I wouldn't mind seeing that team win. Like, for some of the other teams, like, hey, go Indiana. I got nothing against you. Clemson, I don't really care. Yeah, right. Like, go SMU. I was rooting for them.
Boise State. I cheer for Boise State.
Yeah, that's right. Boise State.
I was one of the Catholic kids rooting for Notre Dame.
I like Oregon. I like to watch Oregon. I don't really root against them. And they got a local guy, Dan Lanning's pretty much a KC guy. And so I root for him and I root for Oregon. I was rooting for Arizona State. I like Arizona State. I like their story. I love their running back. I like their coach. There were a lot of things to root for there. So it's not like I was rooting against everybody. Don't like Tennessee. Had enough run-ins with them now. as a Missouri fan, where I'll take a Tennessee loss when I can get it. And so there was a handful of teams like, okay, yeah, I'll root for them. But now that this is played out to where the semifinals are Notre Dame, Penn State, Ohio State, Texas, I really am the kind of person I need to have something to root for, and I have to have a vested interest. That's where DraftKings comes in. But besides DraftKings, I will root for Notre Dame against Penn State because I'll never root for Penn State. Notre Dame because, like you mentioned, Katie Lonergan, who works for Notre Dame football, she's a good friend of the show, so we'll root for her. And I want Tim Grunhard to be happy.
Right.
Because Tim will be the first person to badmouth Notre Dame football before anyone. He has been very angry for the last couple of years, but now this could be it. This could be the dream season that he's been waiting for. They could very easily win the national championship. And so, does it make any difference that Andy Kotelnicki is the offensive coordinator for Penn State?
Not really, because
does it make you mad?
Yeah,
does
it kind of
hey,
like, oh
you.
Man, if he hadn't left, I think KU would have had a really good season.
That's what I mean. So you're kind of like, I hope you don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not rooting against him. I don't befault anybody for trying to further their career, so I don't root against him. But it doesn't make me. I don't find myself going, oh yay, hey, look at the guy we had.
Right.
I do. I'm like you. When I was a high school kid, I loved Tennessee football for whatever reason, and I did not like Notre Dame. All my buddies at the Catholic school love Notre Dame, but now we have so many friends that have, with Tim and Beasler, and Katie is a really good friend.
Beasler, I'm rooting for Notre Dame.
I find myself rooting for Notre Dame like big time now, and so go Irish. And I'm trying to. Was Timmy? The last time they won the national title, that was Tim's team, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's crazy, man.
I'll root, and you know what I do, even though Tim is no fan of Rudy, the actual person. Get him talking about him. I love the movie Rudy. I don't know why I didn't root for Notre Dame. I'm just a contrarian.
Yeah.
A-hole.
Yeah.
So go Notre Dame, and then so that's Thursday night. And so that's a great night of watching football. And then Friday night's Ohio State and Texas. And, of course, you listen to all the games right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Ohio State, Ryan Day is just so unlikable to me. And I know it's more than just the coach, but the coach is the face of the program, really, especially now in the era of transfer portal and everything else when the rosters pretty much totally change every year. I wasn't kidding yesterday. I'm rooting for maybe Notre Dame and Ohio State to play just so I could see a rekindling of the feud between Lou Holtz and Ryan Day, which I thought was fantastic. But like Texas, don't we always pretty much root against Texas?
Yes.
In everything? I mean, who's more likable between Ohio State and Texas?
For me, probably Texas.
Do you think K-State fans are rooting for or against Will Howard?
Probably for him.
Are they? I mean, I don't know.
I'd think so.
I have no idea. Like if it was a former KU quarterback, if that was
in
Jalen
that situation, I think I'd probably root for him. I mean, they had Avery Johnson coming in. I think all Kansas State fans that I knew wanted Avery Johnson to be the guy.
Yeah.
And Will Howard went and got a paycheck, got a couple $1 million. Seemed like a good kid when he was there.
I mean, a better analogy probably would be as a KU basketball fan, if a player from KU got quote-unquote recruited over, and I'm saying in quotes because that doesn't mean you're a better player necessarily, and then that KU basketball player went on to another.
After spending 4 years there, too.
Yeah, and then he went and won a national title with another team. I wouldn't be like, yay!
Rooting for him to win a national championship.
Yeah, I don't. It probably depends on the person.
If they're going against Texas, though, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. That's why I have no feel for that.
I mean, there's no reason to have any animosity towards Will Howard if you're a K-State fan, of course. But it's just that idea that, that was our quarterback, and now he's.
Yeah, and we ran him out of town. I mean. They ran him out of there. I don't think they were.
They run him out of town.
Yeah.
Like, hey, get out
Was
of
he
here.
running? And they were.
I think they let him know that
hey,
that you're not going to be starting next year.
Yeah, I was just making a joke about the phrasing. It's just funny, like chasing him out of town.
Yeah, with
Get out of here.
pitchforks and.
But yeah, they wanted Avery Johnson, right? And so, but
I don't know who I'm pulling for in that game, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you let DraftKings do the talking on that.
And that means I will take Texas plus 5.5 points.
Yeah. By the way, Notre Dame favored by 2.5 and Ohio State favored by 5.5. But Ohio State just looks so good against Oregon.
Yeah,
that was the most shocking result so far of the college football playoffs for me because, we had seen Oregon beat Ohio State in a really good close game. But I had that circle. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to watch this. This is going to be a great college football game.
Right.
And that thing was freaking over before halftime.
Yeah, that was ugly.
And you're thinking, oh, so this is Ohio State's A game. Oh, boy. Can anyone else reach that?
I'm rooting against Ohio State. Their fans are pretty insufferable.
Great point. Great segue. Nice job, Jake. I have not spent a lot of time or any time really, in a live setting, in a Notre Dame game or a Penn State game. I've been around Texas fans, but let me tell you, after sitting right there at the edge where the Ohio State section bled into the Mizzou section.
By the way, it's the Ohio State, remember.
Yeah, at the Cotton Bowl last year, and being around them as they thought they were going to win for a little over 3 quarters, and hearing the things that they said, and just being in that environment, that was a game changer. I'll never root for Ohio State. So, yeah, there you go. Even though I'd like to see that play out between Lou Holtz and Ryan Day, I get flashbacks to that. And that was probably 3 of the most irritating quarters of football I've watched live. But then the 1 quarter of satisfaction when Mizzou scored those 2 touchdowns to put them away, that was wonderful. But they are not pleasant to be around. That's the way I'll say it. Does that surprise you?
No. I will say this too. I actually really like the town of Austin. Like I don't love the University of Texas and the attitude and the arrogance that they came into the Big 12 with and left the Big 12 with and all the way in between, but the city of Austin's fun. It's a cool town.
I like Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, he's good.
I'm a fan of his.
My wife loves him.
Yep. Yeah.
She laughs out loud at that commercial where he's on the couch with Jerry Rice. She thinks that's hilarious.
I saw for the first time the one where he's like putting on a crazy outfit and then Woody Harrelson walks by. You seen that one?
Well, I just saw one where he's sitting in the rain.
The bad reservations. Yeah. He sits in the rain and Woody Harrelson's across the street laughing at him.
I love Woody and.
Oh yeah, I love Matthew McConaughey.
So I root for Texas for Matthew McConaughey.
What would be the best matchup for the national championship game?
I don't know. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to see Penn State, Ohio State.
That'd be awful.
I mean, the best game I think would probably be Ohio State and Notre Dame.
Yeah, see that Notre Dame defense against Ohio State's offense.
I mean, that's probably the best matchup. It's probably what we're going to end up getting.
Anyway, we get that Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, buddy.
You can listen to it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHP. So that'll be a good way to abide our time on Thursday night and Friday night, leading into the 3 days of the wild card weekend. Which and look, I think it's going to be. First of all, it's terrific because the Chiefs aren't playing. Remember this time last year, we were getting ready for that Chiefs-Dolphins game in the unbelievable cold weather. Unbelievable.
Are you ready for some football?
And I didn't even have to sit outside for the game. I'm just talking about walking from through the parking lot and into that stadium. That was the cold. That was one of the coldest moments of my life after the game. Like an hour and a half after the game, after doing interviews and everything else. remember walking from the stadium way out to where the media parking is, out by the practice facility. That was maybe the coldest walk I've ever had in my life. And people sat out there and watched that game and watched the Chiefs and watched L'Jarius Sneed bully Tyreek Hill, who now wants to leave Miami and come back to Kansas City, but he can't. But remember how we felt about the Chiefs, and remember how we felt at the beginning of that postseason. Like, we felt good about the matchup against Miami because it was going to be so cold, and it turned out that they turned into pumpkins when they went out there for the game. But the Chiefs played really, really well. And L'Jarius Sneed dominated Tyreek Hill, remember throwing him down on the ground and everything else, and just basically broke his will. And then from that point on, they won at Buffalo and won at Baltimore. And here we are a year later. They're off. They get the bye week, and we get to sit back and watch them chase a three-peat. And we have a full schedule of wonderful games. I think the Chargers and Texans is going to go down to the wire. I think that's going to be a really good game. I'm rooting for the Texans because I'd rather see the Chiefs play the Texans than the Chargers. I talked about that yesterday. Steelers and Ravens, clearly rooting for the Steelers because I think that would be the most attractive matchup for the Chiefs in the divisional round. But if they eliminated the Ravens, I don't know. I guess I should learn my lesson and not try to manipulate matchups down the road. But if it got to that point, who would you rather see come to Arrowhead for an AFC Championship game, the Bills or the Ravens?
I would rather see the Ravens, but
I've gone back and forth on that now. I've actually, for a long time, it was the Bills for most of the season. And now the way the Ravens defense is playing and the way they're playing and Derrick Henry, even though the Chiefs have had success against Derrick Henry, and the way Lamar's playing, I'm almost ready to flip on that. It's still Buffalo, but I've gotten to a point where I at least consider the question now.
Yeah, look, the only Chiefs game I've been to in person this year was the Chiefs-Ravens game at the start of the season. And I was sitting on that side of the field in the end zone when they had a chance, to tie the game up and were inches away and didn't. So I know how tough of a game it's going to be because that was a really tough game then, and the Ravens, as you pointed out, they looked bad as a pass defense for much of the season, and they don't anymore. They look like a good pass defense. They look like a typical Ravens team, but I think I'm just leaning on the history of Lamar in the playoffs. Whereas even though Josh Allen hasn't had as much success in the postseason as a player of his quality should probably, I think you look at his performances, and most of the times it's like when the Bills lose, it's not because Josh Allen played poorly. It's because
missed field goal.
They miss a field goal. The Chiefs, score a field goal in 13 seconds.
Hey, I want to sit here and tell you the Chiefs are going to win every Super Bowl for the rest of Mahomes' career, but they're not.
Nope.
And at some point, I think Josh Allen's going to win one, and I think up to the point. At some point, Lamar Jackson's he's too good. At some point, they're going to break through. And so he'll be playoff Lamar until he's not, right?
Yeah.
Remember, Peyton Manning couldn't break through. John Elway couldn't break through.
Right.
So you guys, they don't break through until they finally do. And at some point, I think he finally will. And we're not going to know. It's probably not going to be a season where they're the number one seed. It's probably going to be a season with the 3 seed or the 4 seed, and they're not supposed to do it, and they do. So I'll be honest with you, if it's the Ravens and the Bills in the division round, I have no idea who's going to win that game. The Ravens beat the hell out of the Bills the first time around, and I think that will be such an awesome playoff game, and it'll be great. That's why I'd love to see the Texans or the Steelers play the Chiefs in the other game, because I do think the Chargers would give the Chiefs a much better game. But I think there's a chance the Ravens and the Steelers would beat each other up and be in such a knockdown, drag-out, classic playoff game that that might soften them up for the championship game. I'm looking too far ahead with all this stuff.
It's all right, though. It's fun. Think about if the Bills came to Arrowhead and the Chiefs beat the Bills again.
Oh,
and
it'll
like
be incredible.
Xavier Worthy has some huge deep bomb catch touchdown. Like like that. I'm just rooting for that.
Or just think for the second year in a row if they beat Baltimore and Lamar in the championship game.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine that. We don't have to imagine that. That used to happen to the Chiefs.
Right.
You know, those are used to be's. Now we're living in reality. And yes, I think about that. Can you imagine if Xavier Worthy has this big touchdown catch in the fourth quarter, and he's the difference, and the Chiefs beat Buffalo again? Right. Oh, that's I sit here and think about. I sit here and think about if the Broncos upset the Bills and the Chiefs get the Broncos in the divisional round.
Well, that's possible, man. I'm telling you.
They could. And you think, you thought that was the real team? You still talking about 38-0? Come here, let me show you something. Hey, Denver, let me introduce you to a guy named Playoff Pat. You haven't met him before.
How are you doing? How are y'all doing?
Very good. Let's take a break. Back after this on WHB. All right, Kansas City. Hey, have you played Pick 6 from DraftKings yet? I love it. And I've been a big winner with Pick 6. That's why I love it. What are you waiting for if you haven't done it? You better get on it. The playoffs are here, and time's running out. As the official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like nobody else. You play for better payouts on Pick 6. It's super easy to get started. All right, you select 2 or more players, and then you choose if they have more or less of a stat, like touchdowns, yardage, sacks, and more. And Pick 6 is available in most states, including Missouri. And DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. And let me tell you something. I love it. I love Pick 6 from DraftKings, and I've done very, very well. Lebo's done well. I've tried to send my picks to Jake. Jake can be very stubborn, but I think Jake's done well also. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code 810WHB. That's code 810WHB for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. couple of other interesting football notes. The Chargers are planning to sign Ezekiel Elliott to their practice squad today, pending a physical. The Cowboys waived Elliott earlier this month. The 29-year-old had 74 carries for 226 yards and 3 touchdowns in 14 games with the Cowboys this season. Gus Edwards hasn't played for the Chargers since Week 16 in their win over the Broncos. In that game, he injured his ankle and then aggravated it again at practice. And so they expect him to be back for the playoffs, but they signed Zeke Elliott as an insurance policy. And, of course, J.K. Dobbins, who had over 1,000 yards from scrimmage this season, has been injured. But we'll see what happens in the postseason. Does that move the needle for anyone? Zeke Elliott going to the Chargers?
Dude's pretty washed.
Yeah. 3 or 4 years ago would have. But no. Running backs, their shelf life is so short most of the time.
Yeah.
You get Derrick Henry,
right?
Guys like that, but for the most part, no, that doesn't do anything for me.
No, I mean, I hope I see him get carries, especially if he's in competition with the Chiefs.
Right. Yeah, their fortunes lie on whether or not J.K. Dobbins stays healthy. Because he's a difference maker for them. Also, apparently, this is somewhat bizarre. The Chicago Bears, have sought permission to speak to Mike McCarthy.
I saw that this morning.
What do they want to talk to him about? I wonder. What do they just want to speak to him? Hey, how are you?
Catch up.
What do you think? Apparently, they want to talk to him about their head coaching position. Okay. So odd.
So,
what?
Mike McCarthy will keep getting opportunities, and Spagnuolo won't?
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
What do you think of him as a coach?
Who?
McCarthy.
I don't know, it's hard to judge anyone in Dallas.
Right? And it's also kind of hard to judge somebody who's coaching Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a tremendous amount of respect around the league, but I mean, I would have less than zero interest in him as a head coach for my organization.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like if you were to tell me, like if I'm rooting for a team, or to tell me, hey, by the way, we're thinking about hiring Mike McCarthy to be your next head coach, that would not be like, I would not be excited about it.
Like the wish list for me, like the number one guy on my wish list, and he's unproven and everything else, but I'm if I have an opening, I'm doing everything I possibly can to get Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator from Detroit. I just am.
Certainly put together a hell of an offense there.
I'd be super excited to talk to Mike Vrabel, even though it looks like he's going straight to New England, because I think he's a proven commodity, and I think with the right quarterback, it wasn't like Tannehill was terrible. And look, he had the Titans as real legitimate contenders. I think Vrabel's a hell of a coach. So I'd be talking to him. Yeah, Mike McCarthy wouldn't be on my radar, but what the hell do I know? And I sure as hell wouldn't be talking to Rex Ryan either. But go ahead, Jets.
Oh, my gosh.
Go on, Jets. Go ahead and take care of that. He says he's the man for the job. So you don't think that's going to work out?
Some organizations just seem like they can't get out of their own way.
There's no real way they hire him, though, right?
Sure. Why wouldn't there be? He says Aaron Rodgers' country club would be over.
Okay.
I mean, like, why wouldn't the Jets do some of the dumbest things? Of course, like in legitimate reality, no, there shouldn't be. Right. But of course, there's a way they hire him.
I mean, when's the last time that guy even coached?
For the Jets in 2014, I think.
Right. The guy hasn't been in the NFL for over 10 years. You're going to go hire a guy who hasn't been in the NFL for 10 years? The game's changed a little bit in the last 10 years.
He's been talking about it, criticizing all the other coaches. For
It's just, I mean, you're right. It is the Jets, but even that would surprise me.
He said, the reason I think I'm going to get it is because I'm the best guy for it. It ain't close. The thing is, you have to connect with your football team. You have to connect with your fan base. The way they play, that's the most important thing. It's not just the X's and O's and all that. This is Ben Johnson. I love him. I absolutely love him. But I'm a better candidate for this job than he would be.
No.
This Ben Johnson.
They interviewed Mike Vrabel, and they interviewed Ron Rivera. They're going to interview Arthur Smith, not interested. Bobby Slowick, Joe Brady, I'd be interested. Matt Nagy. They're also expected to submit requests for Aaron Glenn from the Lions. I'd be interested. Vance Joseph, pass. Brian Flores, You know what? I'd be interested.
Yes, me too.
And then 2 quarterback coaches, Josh McCown and Brian Greasy. So my list out of that would be of course, Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel, Joe Brady, Aaron Glenn, Brian Flores.
I think Flores and Vrabel would be at the top of my list, not in that order.
Anyone seeing that there, Nate?
Well, I would agree with you on Vrabel. I think he's already proven, because, as you said, Tannehill was a decent quarterback, but he wasn't special.
But he did have Henry.
And he used him. But, to me, like I feel like if I have Mike Vrabel coaching my team, the team's going to be tough.
Yep.
The team's going to be prepared. They're going to have the right mindset and mentality. So then it's just about whether or not you got the players. And so he would be at the top of my list. But it is striking to see how much mismanagement there is in the NFL by certain teams. Because like when you have it rolling the way the Chiefs do, it all looks so easy to just not screw things up. But
it wasn't for a while.
It wasn't for a while. We saw dysfunction here at a very high level. When Todd Haley was worried that he was being
Dude, they made those bold moves, and they were the toast of the NFL. They reset the franchise. They went out and they got Scott Pioli, Todd Haley, and they traded for Matt Castle.
Yep.
And across the board, it all bombed. Remember that?
Yeah, yes, and I remember what a mess it was. Like, it wasn't just that it bombed; it was like the head coach was paranoid that he was like being bugged.
Castle.
I mean, it was a weird. There were weird things going on, and so. Yeah, like you look at some of the teams in the league, and to me, like the Bears, the Browns, the Jets, the Giants, they make decisions, the Cowboys, they make decisions where you just go, like the story you told us yesterday about, was Woody Johnson, right, who was allegedly taking football advice from his kids.
I don't see the problem.
From Madden.
From Madden.
Madden ratings.
Madden ratings.
As Jake said, they'd probably be doing better if you actually were doing
What else are you supposed to look at?
But I fully believe that. I mean, like it's when you see some of the decisions that get made, it's believable. Emotional decisions, paying quarterbacks just ridiculous amounts of money that have all kinds of problems.
I don't see the problem with using Madden ratings. We'll take a break. Back after this on WHP.
Folks, I want to tell you about my friends at Aesthetic Care Med Spa. It is the place that I've been going for some time now to see Dr. Amy Carter. AC Wellness is her branch of the organization. Look, they do a really good job. They've taken good care of me. The thing that I care about, Dr. Amy Carter and her team of nurse practitioners, safety is the number one priority. I want to be healthy. I want to do things the right way. I know there's a really big buzz about some weight loss injections that are on the market right now. And if it's something that you're interested in, I think it's critical that it's done in a thorough and safe manner. That's why I recommend Dr. Amy Carter and her team of nurse practitioners. They're simply the best. They do things the right way. And you don't need to leave your house to get a consultation. You can go to greatskinkc.com and schedule your free consultation phone call with one of the specialists there. You can find out what program fits best for you. They can schedule you in office, right over the phone, or online. greatskinkc.com. They've been serving Kansas City for 23 years. No one does aesthetics and wellness better. If you're ready to lose weight safely, go to greatskinkc.com and schedule your free phone consultation. That's greatskinkc.com.
Welcome back to the show. This is New Day with SSJ. Nate Bukaty, you've got an event coming up. Tell everyone all about it, please.
Yeah, it's coming up on Saturday, February 1st, so it's getting close. So you got to get signed up. It is the second annual Sean Biggs Memorial Pickleball Tournament. February 1st, 9 a.m. to noon at Chicken and Pickle at Overland Park. I'll put it out on social media for everybody to see, but if you go to biggsteps.org, Big Steps with 2 G's, bigsteps.org, you can sign up right there. There's going to be 3 divisions. You've got your beginner division, You've got your intermediate division. We're adding the intermediate division last year because last year we just had beginner and competitive, and we found out there was a good middle ground there of people that needed an intermediate division. So we've got 3 divisions this year. It's $125 for a team of 2. All of the money goes to the Sean D. Biggs Memorial Foundation, which helps us raise money to fight cancer at the University of Kansas Cancer Center, and to raise money for a camp called Camp Kesem, which is a camp for children who either have a parent that's battling cancer or have lost a parent to cancer. As you guys know, for 12 years now, we've had this Sean Biggs Memorial Foundation. My friend Sean died from cancer 12 years ago. He was a Kansas alum from Abilene, Kansas. His 2 children, this blows my mind, Stephen, how fast life goes. His kids were 6 and 5 when Sean passed away, and that's what really broke my heart more than anything and caused me to want to start a foundation in his honor. His son Millen is now a freshman at Vanderbilt. By the way, helped carry the goalposts down Broadway and into the river. When they beat Alabama this year in football, he's a freshman at Vanderbilt, and his daughter's actually starting to run our social media account. She's a senior in high school right now, and she just got accepted to the engineering school at the University of Kansas, but she's also applying to a million other amazing schools too, so we'll see if she goes there. But the point is, Sean's kids are growing up. They're growing fast. They're doing wonderfully well, but they've gone to Camp Kesem every year since their dad died. They have gone back every year. The retention rate's unbelievable because for kids that are going through something like that, getting the chance to go to a camp where you're surrounded by other kids who are going through the same thing that you are, and the camp counselors mostly have done the same thing as well, and they're all volunteers. It's a really, really powerful thing. So you have a chance to help save lives through the KU Cancer Center and also change lives for kids who are going through something terrible, and be a ray of sunshine in a dark time for them. So, and you get to play pickleball. It's really fun. It's all indoor at the Chicken and Pickle Overland Park. If you go to biggsteps.org, you can sign up. And our prizes, by the way, for all 3 divisions, a meat bundle from Greengrass Cattle Company and some cool swag from Boulevard Brewing Company. So you get both of those things if you can win your bracket. And but more importantly, you have a great time, raise money for a great cause, and I hope to see. Let's fill up all 3 brackets so we can raise as much money as possible to honor my buddy Sean and fight cancer and help kids.
What's the date again?
February 1st. We picked it because it is the weekend in between the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl.
I thought you picked it because it was Lebo's birthday.
And because it's Lebo's birthday as well. Certainly want to honor Todd Lebo. You think there's any chance we get him signed up for this pickleball tournament?
Maybe, if you asked him nicely.
Do you have a partner, Jake?
I mean, I thought I was playing with Dieter.
Is he still going to play?
I'll have to ask him on Thursday. I've been practicing. Been out there. I was playing last weekend.
I'd like to get out. I'd like to play in it this year. I didn't get to play last year, but I didn't sign up myself. I need a partner. I need to find somebody to play with.
What about Beasler?
I invited him. He politely he has a prior obligation.
It sure does.
Really?
Yeah, he has a prior obligation, so I struck out on that one.
Did he say that right away, or did he lead you on at all? Or?
He waited for a while to respond. Let me check my calendar, and then he said he was informed by the boss that they had something going on that day. So we'll see if Dieter doesn't bail on you. You can play with me.
All right.
How would you like that, Stephen? Me and Jake on the same team.
What division would you guys be in?
I mean, I need to be an intermediate. I don't need to be in the advanced division. Davey B won it last year with Kelly Aldridge from Chicken and Pickle. They're the reigning champs, and they're signed up again this year. My cousin Nolan and my 2 cousins, Nolan and Jess, who both played college tennis, made it to the championship game and played against Kelly and Dave. And I think my cousins thought they were going to cruise right to the championship, and they got put in their place by Kelly and Dave. But they've been practicing, so I think the competitive division is going to be pretty competitive this year. Should be good.
Well, what division is Davey B going to be in?
Competitive.
All right.
Are you taking that as a challenge?
I don't know.
You get Dieter on your team, you might be able to hang with him.
Like, are you not at that level, Jake, or are you? Nate says he's not, but are you?
Probably not.
They're good.
What about with the right partner?
I mean, if I was with Dieter, I'd play in the competitive.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, yes. If I was with Nate, I'd be in.
Would you rather play with Nate or Dieter?
Is that even a question?
Yeah, it is a little bit.
It is a question.
That's a lot of pressure. Because I know if I don't hold my own, I'm going to be shamed.
So I have no concept of these levels. Could you and Nate win the intermediate division?
I think so.
Yeah, I think probably so. Competitive, no chance.
No, man, I'm telling you, Kelly and Dave are good. My cousins are really good, and they lost to them, Yeah. But it's going to be fun, and there's a beginner division, too. BigSteps.org.
We'll be back after this. BigSteps.org. Back after this on WHB.
Kansas City, have you played Pick 6 from DraftKings yet? Well, if you haven't, get on it. Go download the app, Pick 6 from DraftKings. It's awesome. The playoffs are here, and time is running out. As the official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like no one else. Play for better payouts on Pick 6. It's super easy to get started. Select 2 or more players, say Lamar Jackson. You just pick over and under, 214.5 yards. Over. Easy. Simple. Pick 2 players. Pick over and under. That's all you got to do. It's also available in most states, including Missouri, California, Texas, Georgia, and more. DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers, play $5, you get $50 in Pick 6 credits. That's right. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code 810WHB. That's code 810WHB for new customers. Play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.